Hello everybody, and in this video we're going to be discussing a short survey that we put out this weekend. This is obviously away from our usual schedule, and there'll be a video about the new schedule in the coming days. There's going to be a lot of videos this week just updating you with stuff, including a few things on Charter Standard too, so make sure you keep an eye on that. So obviously you can see we're in a slightly more casual setting for this one, because it isn't one of our, big league roundup videos. So without further ado, I'll just quickly explain what it was that we actually did. We set up a survey, which a few people obviously did over the weekend. We got 18 respondents, which isn't a lot, but it's there were some pressing points made in those 18. We had a few paragraphs written in the general question at the end, which was unlimited length, so you could type as much as you liked. We had a few paragraphs in that. And basically we're just going to go through some of those points and then let you know what it is we're going to try and do to make those things better for you. So we don't actually know who sent them to us, and we're not going to disclose the whole thing because obviously there's confidentiality and stuff, but we're going to address the main points that came up, and a few points have been sent to us a couple of times. So the first one is somebody asked us if we could have a cameraman for every league. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a brilliant idea, and it would be a brilliant idea. The only problem is getting somebody to travel, because obviously, like in the Premier Division, for instance, you've got Malpass, which is obviously quite far south. There's a lot of sides in Stockport and Manchester and the local areas up here. I say up here because I'm from Stockport, so that's just my local catchment area. But there's a load of teams in Warrington, a load of teams up north, and obviously it's getting people who are interested in travelling at the same time, as well as obviously filming the games. We do want to keep quality high, so we'd obviously put them through some form of, we'd want to see some quality work from them. So on the surface, it's a good idea, and it's an idea that obviously we'd want to work with. We just need to work out the logistics of how we do that. So that one is, although a good point, it's a difficult one to get right, I guess. So this was one of our paragraphs. I don't know who it was that posted it. More interviews at club level. More interviews at club level is something that we are trying to work on. As the YouTube team is only currently 2 people, it's me and Rob. We are looking at getting a few more. I think there was an email that went around to the clubs this weekend about the YouTube channel, so be sure to check the emails for those. But we are going to try and interview a few players, whether it be text or video interviews or audio interviews over the phone. So I'll reach out to a few clubs and we'll get something sorted for that. Another point that was made was more interest in the reserve teams. Admittedly, in press reports and in videos, the reserve teams tend to get a lacking report, and that's kind of my fault. I'll admit that. The reserve leagues are obviously very competitive, and there's a lot of teams in there that are fighting for top spots, and so we do try to keep you updated with that. Sometimes it's difficult. Obviously, coverage is harder for reserve teams than it is for Premier Division teams. Some teams don't post full-time scores and whatever, so we are working on that. Another point was with modern technology was to do interviews for things like Player of the Month. So if a club has a Player of the Month award, I noticed Rylands did, they posted theirs today. If you have a Player of the Month award, you can interview that player or take photos of that player, and then it gets sent to the league and we deal with it from there. It is something we are trying to do with CFL Play, which is obviously a series that we haven't completely got grounded yet. We are going to eventually though, so keep an eye out for that. Next big paragraph we got was again quite a long one. More match day interviews, which again, as previously mentioned, we've gone into detail on that one. The league tables visually. Now, graphic design is something that we are trying to incorporate more. It does take a while to make them, I'll be honest, it does. Some of the graphics do take a few hours sometimes to get right, so the big league table graphics that I had done previously, they used to take a while just because of getting all the teams in order and the badges and the backgrounds and the colours and whatnot. But we are trying to work on getting those done every week at the end of the fixtures. Somebody asked about glancing at the highs and lows of fixtures and things like that. So the teams that did well and moved up the most, the teams that dropped down the table the most, and so on. That would be quite interesting. It would be quite interesting to do, to look at the league tables beforehand, look at the league tables afterwards, and see who jumped up the most and who dropped down the most, and so on. So that one's definitely doable, and I'll work on that one. Results on a Saturday after the game's finished are shown for every league, so some sort of screenshots from full time or the graphics. For those, I have tried to do those with the CFL Score Centre. It is quite difficult sometimes to update everybody on all the fixtures and whatnot, so we are working on it. Rest assured, we are working on a solution for that, and we will work on it for you. Club profiles, again, something that we're going to do over the summer. This was already pre-planned, so it is quite nice that they brought it up so we can talk about it. We are planning on, once we've got all the teams sorted for the leagues, is to do club profiles for all of them. So hopefully in alphabetical order, or at least in league finish order. We're going to be doing a short, maybe like 20, 30 word profile on each club with their nickname and their club age and so on and so forth, as well as all squad members. Or it's difficult with squad members because there's a lot of them, but some form of club profile for every club, and we are working on that, so rest assured we are doing that. Ask the league a question. Again, if you want, that is something we can do. We can do a sort of Q&A session every week or so. Just ask the league a question every couple of weeks. We just create some form of either video or text article to answer all the questions that we get, and then maybe on the website or full time we had an FAQ section for those frequently asked questions that we do get, and we do get a lot of them, I'll be honest, and explain the referees, assessors' jobs. Again, we'll get something out. We are looking at getting some more informative videos out there. So not just the league previews and league reviews and CFL play and whatever. We are going to try and do some informative videos where we explain league rules or league systems or so on. So we will work on getting things like that. So for everything that's sort of ballooned in, I'll balloon that into one section for you, and we'll work on it for you when we get the chance. Highlights of matches regularly is one I saw across most of the replies. Looking at highlights, we are filming, or the league themselves, which is basically me and a couple of other people. We're going to West Didsbury and Chorlton Reserves against Cheadle Town Reserves this weekend, so we will be filming that game and we'll be posting match highlights of that. Every club has the potential to create match highlights if they wish. It's very simple. We can produce some form of set layout if you want one of those, or if you want some advice or anything, just drop us a message on Twitter or Facebook, and we will get back to you on it, and we will help you as best we can, because we do like match highlights. Match highlights are good to watch, and they're definitely helpful for clubs. So there are some clubs that have their own outlets and their own systems for filming games, and they have designated videographers and things like that. So if you're one of those clubs, again, advice is out there for people if they need it, but if you want any help with filming games, just let us know and we'll try and help you out. Students is a big thing. We're trying to reach out to the local sixth form colleges and universities and see if we can get some people who are willing to give up some of their time on a Saturday to go and film the games, in the same way that the players and the referees and stuff give up their time on Saturday. After all, football is a community sport, and it's about getting the most amount of people watching, and it'll definitely help us in the long run if we can do that. Soccer AM style teammates is one thing that's on here. I don't watch Soccer AM anymore. I used to watch it ages ago. I think that's the thing where they talk to one of the players from a team, and then they ask them questions and so on. We can try that. If clubs want to send us that of some sort, then we can do that, sure. It's just about getting out to the clubs, and sometimes that can be quite difficult. Like I said, Malpass are quite far away, and I think Garswood are quite far away from where most of us are based. So, but if you want to, submit anything, then do so. We've got outlets for that. We have a OneDrive folder where all the clubs can post their match photos. I've spoken to a few clubs about that. Again, if you have match photos, you can send those to us too, and we'll promote them, because that's what we want to do. We want to promote our teams and make them feel valued, and that's the whole point of this league. We're a community, aren't we? And it's definitely important that we make the leagues, make the teams feel valued, because they are the league in all reality, aren't they? Without the teams, there is no league. So the clubs are one of the most important assets to any football league, and our teams are amazing. They really are. Very friendly staff, very friendly volunteers. The standard of football is very good. So if you do want to go and watch some football on a Saturday, go and find the Cheshire League game, and they'll guarantee you a good game. Always. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you during the week and on Friday with Rob's weekend preview. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook and so forth. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.